Beware the Moonsault Slayer. Maybe I'm crazy, but to me, Heihachi was like the worst addition, like fighting wise, that I've ever had to deal with. Warrior Instinct. Every time
Yeah.
that happens, I basically just give up because I already know with the way how I play Harong currently, there's no way I'm winning. He's just so hard to deal with, given
I
given the tools that I have.
Yeah, right. That's a surprising take, not gonna lie, but
No, I think that's fair though, because a lot of times when I go up against a Heihachi, or even when I would play as Heihachi, it's like I'm gonna try to bombard the Heihachi as much as I can, or be the player that like does it more so that he cannot activate his heat and get the install. Because I don't want him to get space to be able to activate heat just to get that install. Because once he has that install, the most threatening thing is his hell sweep. 100%. He can just chop you down with that. Regardless if he does the mix up of the low and then floats you or the mid, because either way is plus. And I'm not going to be able to punish that if I block the one hell sweep, because then he'll just do like down forward 2-1 or up forward 2-1, whatever the string is, to launch me.
Yeah, it is an interesting thing with Heihachi. Like, he's one of the few characters where you're actively trying to like stop him from using heat. Like, I do like that concept, because like with no other characters, you like if they use heat, it's like, okay, obviously you don't want them to be in heat, but it's no like I gotta stop him popping heat 3 times. So I like
Yeah.
that, but they just gotta tone down Warrior Instinct a little bit. I think if they made it to where, because don't they amplify his like frames and like on head and stuff like that, that's fine, I guess, but the removing the chip damage part is crazy. Even like jabs do it, like on block.
Yeah.
It's like, that's wild.
Literally, my main issue with it is the hell sweep. And then also the fact that in his stances, I think when he does his forward 3 into down and then goes into that stance and does the mid electric, that then becomes safe. And I think plus, I could be wrong, but it becomes safe. But forward 3 is then +1. Adding an install that changes moves off of what they were without the install and changing the frame data, I think that's a bit egregious. I think the fact that he can just get away with all that stuff with no repercussions just because he pressed the heat button 3 times, I think that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Regardless, I still
Yeah.
have fun with him, but I think that that's crazy that it completely changes the frames of just that round. It's like labbing like 3 characters.
Some people say that either all characters should have installs or no characters should have it. For the Harong main, how do you feel about that? Like, not having an install, but like Heihachi, Lydia, other characters do have it.
I don't think that Harong should have an install. Having him have an install I would probably actually stop playing the game if that happened. The only issue I think that he would need to have is just certain moves just need to get like a negative framing.
When he's in heat, he does like something else with it. I can't remember what attack it was though.
It's his floppy kicks, right? His
Oh,
floppy kicks.
okay.
And so that in heat I don't think should exist if I'm being honest. The only reason why I'm saying that is because you can go into it through certain moves, like through jabs, through mids. That's too much. The low into flappy kicks, that's fine. I think that's the only amount of bullcrap that you should deal with in that regard. But
Well,
to go into that from a jab, to go into that from a mid move, no, that's too much. You're basically blowing up everybody that you come up with.
what kind of
Yeah.
low is it?
It's a back 4, I believe, into flappy kicks.
And the floppy kicks, it comes out at 8 frames, right? So I can't even do anything about it if I block it.
I think if it's only on counter hit while you're in heat, you're basically getting blown up. I
Same with
like
same
I
with the
said,
jab.
same with the jab. He has at least 4 or 5 different ways for that to happen, and I'm like, no. Even for me, I would be a little bit pissed if I were to deal with that on a consistent basis. And that aspect, yeah, he should be toned down. It should only be the one.
What do you think, Zero, about like installs and heat enhanced attacks?
I'm not gonna lie, whoever started that is probably like secretly working as a dev there and is testing the waters, because that is the take of like, if everyone is special, no one is special. So let's just give
Mm.
everyone an install. That's the kind of take that is. If we have like characters that get installs and stuff, like fine, right? Unique stuff and so on. But at the same time, Tekken 8 is adding more and more stuff, sometimes I feel like I'm playing a PvP RPG. Like,
That's
this
fair.
one does this one does that, and it's like as a casual. At least, you guys can have a different opinion on it, of course, but it becomes too much. Also, with the heat, when characters have like additional moves or the moves change, right? That's also something you then have to keep in mind. They are most likely not going to add a move that is bad when it's something added to the heat. So you have to have it in mind while playing against that character. The more is added, the more it stacks up and the more exhausting it becomes as well.
I think installs being guaranteed off of a heat activation though. Like when I think of it, I guess Brian, like as soon as he activates heat, he has snake eyes. And then he has snake eyes for the entirety of that heat. I think that's just like really silly. And Claudio gets it off of his rage art as well. Getting an install should be, in a sense, earned. If they want to give it to the character when he activates heat, it should only be like a one-time use while in heat. And then every time after that, he should still have to try and earn it.
Installs is a cool concept, but I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
characters in a game that just push it really far, and then it kind of makes you not like it. Like, I feel like that's the thing with Tekken 8. It's like they introduce this idea, and it's like, if someone was to tell you like, oh, characters get this special ability that, they do off of their signature hit, you'd be like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. But then like when you see it in Tekken 8 and like the damage or like the setups, it makes you like, okay, this is just, it's too like match defining. Like installs win matches, not the skill. And that's where the line is blurred of like, we are very open to new mechanics and new ideas, but when those things like dominate the experience, then it's like we're not really playing Tekken 8, we're playing like Heat 8, like Install 8 and whatnot,
Yeah.
I think I know the reason why it's so controversial or it's so bad right now. Because I think what it is that we have the right tools for a great game. It's just implemented in the wrong fashion. Heat
Yes.
itself is not a bad concept,
Yeah, that's true.
but earning it would have made it a better concept, right? Like being able to do these moves in heat is not a bad concept, but pressing one button to perform all these moves as opposed to rage drives that were in Tekken 6 or sorry, Tekken 7 that you had to basically perform the moves for, that's the reason why these moves seem so egregious. So it's like we have all of these tools. In theory, they're great. They're just implemented in a way that is not working, and it's painfully obvious. If we could just go back to the drawing board and then rework it, I bet you a lot more people would love this game.
I honestly think there should even be an entirely different mode, because some, like I said earlier, sometimes these feel like MMORPG mechanics, and the guy from the PvE content, took over for PvP as well and implemented into those characters. So we have to suffer the consequences for it. If we had all these mechanics in a PvE area, treasure battle basically, those concepts would probably have like a lot of more liking to it, and people wouldn't have so much against it. But in the
But
PvP context, it feels a lot of times game breaking. Yeah.
but they did try that. It was called Tekken Revolution, and look at how that game turned out. It was a free game on PlayStation 3, and they discontinued it. All the moves that you saw in Tekken 7, armor breaks and everything like that, was tested in Tekken Revolution.
Yo,
TK
that
and how
that is wild. What?
Yeah, I'm one of the few who played it.
TK and House said in chat it was free, but you had coins. So you basically had like mobile gaming mechanics in a console game, which nobody liked. Like we don't
Yeah.
even need to discuss that.